beginning of any new year, you're bound to get videos cropping up on your YouTube feed saying this is the best camera of the year to come, or this was the best camera of the year just gone. If you also subscribe to photography magazines, you'll often see articles on exactly the same subjects. But is there really a camera that can suit absolutely everybody? And if so, which one of these videos or articles can we trust? Well, join me here at the beautiful Timberlings as I explore this stunning woodland landscape and hopefully put these arguments to bed once and for all, as we ask the question, what is the best camera this year? One of the biggest mistakes that photographers of all levels will often make is believing that it is their camera that dictates how good they are as a photographer. This couldn't be further from the truth. What we have to remember is that our camera is simply a tool, and that photography is an art of observation. It comes down to how we as individuals see the world and interpret what we see into the photographs that we make. A camera can help us to render a physical photograph, but it comes down to where we point that camera and how we utilize light, contrast, color, and all of the other visual factors that go into making a photograph to determine what people see when they look at our pictures once we show them the finished article. Imagine a painter using paint and paintbrushes. It may be really useful for that painter to have the latest pack of brushes on the market, but it's not the brushes that are going to make a picture look a certain way. It is the artist's interpretation of a scene and their style of work that is going to ultimately show off the work at the end of the process, which is very much like how we should use cameras as photographers. Not necessarily as this be-all and end-all factor that if we don't have the latest kit we're not going to get a good photograph, but using a camera that ultimately works for us as individual photographers. The photographers that you watch on YouTube or read the articles of in magazines will often be sponsored by different camera companies, which means that they will send them their kit to review and to pass comment on. And more often than not, those reviews will come back very positive indeed, because those people are wanting to continue the sponsorship with that camera manufacturer. And in turn, the camera manufacturer are wanting those people that are getting lots and lots of views on YouTube and lots of people reading their articles to sell their cameras for them. So every single camera manufacturer are doing this all the time, and people in the YouTube industry that are getting their sole income from making YouTube videos, or at least the majority of their income from making YouTube videos, will jump on this bandwagon all the time and get their followers to buy into the kit that they are sponsoring. Which is all well and good, everybody's got to make a living. But when it comes to honest photography advice, then sometimes these videos and articles aren't the best to rely on. What we've just talked about in terms of photography being a visual art form, and the fact that our camera is simply a tool to be able to help us to render a photograph, means that there is no one camera out there on the market that is better than any other camera for absolutely every individual photographer. There are lenses and cameras and various different types of kit that are best for each different type of photography that different people are interested in. So when people say that this is the go-to camera for this year, doesn't mean that it's the best one for you. What you have to do is shop around, feel the camera to see if you like the feel of it, the tactile nature of it, whether you like looking through the viewfinder, what the picture looks like through the viewfinder, how the picture renders on the screen at the back, how the buttons work in terms of how your hands work, whether you like the layout of the menus in the camera, whether the screen works with you in terms of being either a touch screen or a tilt-out screen or whatever it might be, because some people like some things and other people like other things. So when it comes to buying a camera, there is so much to think about. Thinking that there's only one camera that has these massive amount of megapixels and is going to make the best photograph that you've ever made is absolute rubbish, in my personal opinion. At the beginning of this video, I said that I was going to answer the question, what is the best camera this year? And if you've been looking at these videos about the latest gear coming out and reading articles about them, then potentially you're not going to like my answer. But hopefully it will be an honest answer that will ultimately help you improve as a photographer, rather than relying on new gear all the time and wasting your whole bank balance on kit that you don't necessarily need. So the answer that I'm going to give to that question is the camera that you have got already. As we've just discussed, buying a new camera isn't a decision to be taken lightly. I would recommend in most cases people looking and researching for at least a few months before launching in. But if we get to use our camera as best we can that we have now, then we'll start to be able to work out things that we like about the camera that we can look for in our next upgrade. We can look for things that we don't necessarily like about our camera and see if there's a camera out there on the market that will help us to get rid of those things and replace them with better things. We can get used to where menu settings are and how to find them quickly, and how to navigate quickly around the buttons that we need to be able to make photography an easier practice as possible. Remember that our camera is a tool, so it has to be there to serve us in how we approach our own personal photography. The camera that I'm using now to film this video, and the camera that I will use to make the photographs that you'll see at the end of this video, is the Nikon Z6, which has been out for quite a few years now. It was Nikon's flagship mirrorless camera. And there are all these new cameras that have come out since the Z6, like the Z6 II, the Z7 II, the Z9, which has recently been released, and all of these cameras can jump out at us and say, this will make your photography better because it's a more up-to-date, more modern camera. But for me, I'm happy with my Z6. The Z6 II, which would be the, I suppose, the most obvious upgrade for me as a Z6 II user, has maybe a faster processor and an extra memory card slot, both of which I couldn't care less about, to be quite honest. I'm happy using the camera that I've got, and hopefully the video that is coming out of it and the photographs that you see at the end look half decent to you watching this video. And I don't personally think by paying out umpteen thousands worth of pounds is going to make my photographs or my videos any better. I'm happy with what I've got at the moment. And yes, all of these videos and articles will tempt us in and with their shiny new equipment and say buy this, buy that, buy the other, but ultimately it comes down to what we are comfortable as individuals using and how we like our photographs to come out. If you want to print your photographs out to billboard size and you want a fashion accessory, then buy the new Leica M11. If you want a camera that works for you, takes decent pictures and is something that you feel really comfortable with, then stick with what you've got for now. And if it comes to a point where you think, ooh, this is slowing me down a bit, it's then time to think, should I make a move to a new camera? But also remember to consider absolutely everything before you launch in. I know I've been ranting and rambling on for a while now, so I suppose I should come to a conclusion, but Hopefully, from what you've just seen, my conclusion is pretty clear. There is not a camera that suits everybody, so don't believe these videos on YouTube that say buy this camera and you'll be the best thing since Henri Cartier-Bresson or David Bailey or whoever it is that you look up to. Just consider what you've got already and put more emphasis into learning about the background of photography, how to see, how to use colour, how to use light, how to use contrast. And by doing that, it is that that will make you a better photographer, not necessarily the camera equipment that you carry around in your kit bag. I'd like to thank you all ever so much for watching this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and got something out of it. If you have, then please like it and subscribe to the Yorkshire Photo Walks YouTube channel. I'm not putting out as many videos as I used to do back in good old lockdown days when I had more time and furlough time to go out and produce them, but I am going to try and post one at least a month, so please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for more content like this. You can also check out Yorkshire Photo Walks, where we provide expert photography tuition on walks through unique and inspirational Yorkshire locations. For that, go across to yorkshirephotowalks.com to see our 10th anniversary schedule. And I've recently just updated my own personal photography website. So if you'd like to see some of the photographs that I take by myself away from the photo walks, then that is flatcap.photo. You can also follow me, flatcap.photo, on Instagram, and also Photo Walks Yorks on Instagram if you want to see the latest stuff that we've been doing on our Yorkshire Photo Walks. All very complex, I know. But with that, I will leave you with some of the photographs that I've been taking in this beautiful light here today at Timberlings Wood. Until next time, remember to keep your camera close to your heart and use it the best way that you know how, and concentrate more on how you make photographs rather than what you make photographs with. I'll see you next time.